So let's start with basic stats.
Mm.
So actually, maybe if we still look at that, that's not a bad idea. Okay. So overview, this is what I see as your coach. So stats, I see your duration for your workouts, the volume, the sets. And then so I can see how often you've gone to the gym. Okay, so now this is the tricky thing about this. So this is your new program. So yes, we changed your program. So right now we can't go back to October because the program is gone. It's a different program. So what I was also thinking is that I will not necessarily swap out the entire program, but I'll just keep the program, but then modify it as well on my side, adjust it. Yeah. So since you started your new phase for your program for just legs, because now we're focusing on just the legs, right? Yeah. So since we started the program, we're looking at, you've been going to the gym on average 2 times in March. It was about 2 times a week. And on average in April, it was 3 times a week. So there was a bit of an improvement. So something was probably going on in March. I think that was when you're doing your fasting. And there was the time that you couldn't really train as much. So, which makes sense. So now you bumped up to 3 times a week on average. And then in May, you're just starting out. So you are at
once.
Right? So on average, it's still like just under 2 times, right? So 1.5 on average. So for your workouts, on average duration for your workouts, how long are you spending in the gym? So on average, looks like it's about an hour in the gym. Right, so that's about the average that I'm looking at here. So,
Tommy.
So looking at about an hour on average in the gym. And so right now you're obviously seeing some results. And my question to you is, what's been the challenge for you to kind of hit, let's say, 4 times a week or 3 to 4 times a week? Or are you happy with, you sound like you're happy with the progress, but my question to you is there opportunity, just looking at this without necessarily looking at the program itself, but is there opportunity for us to do something in terms of frequency of the workouts?
Yeah, definitely. I can tell that I'm not doing as well as I should be doing, but it's very difficult for me to go to the gym during summer or spring when it's hot. For some reason, I do not know why. I just feel unmotivated, and it's just like I keep postponing and then never going. So I can't really tell you, pinpoint the reason why.
Yeah, because I mean, like at the end of the day, like the big thing about this, it's when you're looking at this from like a health standpoint, it's like, are you being active? Are you still managing to be active? You might not necessarily be going to the gym, but let's say, for example, on the weekend you went for hiking. That is also an activity that you can consider like a workout, right? So overall, it'd be a question of, are you managing to get your steps in? Like, are you moving around? Are you taking walks because it's summer? Are you finding alternate workouts to do or ways to stay active? Like, what's that looking like on your side?
Yeah. So during summer, I do try to stay active. I swim a lot during summer, pretty much almost every weekend, and the hiking as well. So that's one way I try to stay active. Before it gets too hot, I also do take walks around to get in my steps. But yeah, I think this is kind of a reality check for me because I hadn't looked at the stats.
Hmm.
And yeah, if I want to see results, I definitely have to be more consistent.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So on average, so if I'm giving you feedback now, so on average, you want to be training at least like the recommendation in terms of exercise, you'd be looking at 6 to 8 hours per week, right? So in terms and recommendation is also based on different studies, right? To say that is it like the be it all, end all be it all for like any sort of recommendation, but the main thing is just that we want to tailor it to your lifestyle, right?
Mm,
And if there is opportunity to do more, you can do more and accelerate your results, right?
okay.
So that's something to keep in mind. It's not going to be saying like, okay, if you go swim, let's say 2 times a week or once a week, and then you go hiking, like you're not being active because that also counts as activity, right? And if you're also getting your steps in, that's counting as activity and being active as well. So it all adds up at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be this amount, this work that you're recording, but
Mm,
in terms of strength training and progressive overload and progressively increasing your strength, you want to try aim for at least 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, right? Because there's this thing when it comes to uh, training. It's a principle. It's use it or lose it. So if you don't use it and continuously progress, you're gonna lose it.
yeah.
So you kind of regress and start backwards again, and you're not always able to progress. And when you're not progressing, it also demotivates you, where you're not motivated because you're like, I'm back here again. I can't lift this week. How come? But I lifted it before. What's changed? What's going on? Right. So that's stuff to keep in mind. So I would say, like, if you want to keep up that momentum or even propel a little bit higher and progressively kind of get your game up, I would say, yeah, get your frequency to 3 times, at least 3 times a week to 4 times a week, right? And then if you get to that point and you feel like, okay, like 4 times a week is a lot, and 3 to 4 times a week is a lot, you can also have a week where you actually dedicate for rest. That's more like a deload week where you don't increase as much frequency, but you actually reduce how much you're doing. So that you also give your body some time to actually fully recover, right? So
Excellent.
so it's just more so tailoring it to what you want to achieve, right? So if strength is the main goal, we need to progressively overload on that, right? And then use your rest days to hike and do all of that stuff as well, and the swimming. Okay, so if we're looking at set count for what you're focused on over here, so your program right now. So I'm looking at how many sets for your muscle groups that you're working on. So this is in May, muscle group sets May 2023 to May 2024. Okay. So overall, your program, you've done 172 sets for hamstrings and 171 sets for glutes. For quads, 156, abs, 132, upper back, 111, shoulders, 108, triceps, 72, 60, and so forth, going down, right? So one of the things that we talked about in terms of what you want to see results, where you want to see results, what I want to see as well is this going up,
Doctors?
adduction. So you remember that exercise that you're like, okay, this is my favorite exercise, adduction.
Yes.
like the one where you're on the
The hip
seat and you're
abduction.
going, yeah, showing that you have,
Strange that that's zero. I do that.
or
I
you
make
you.
sure to get it in at least once a week.
So there's two. So there's abduction and
Oh,
adduction. So there's the one where you push it outwards
yeah,
and the weight is pushing you in, right?
yeah,
So that's abduction. And then there's the adduction where you're squeezing, like you're just going to squeeze it and smash it. And the
yeah,
weight is pushing you outwards.
yeah. I never do that. Does that give you like a thigh gap or something?
It closes the thigh gap.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
So it closes both close the thigh gaps. Like if you're doing your workouts properly, you're
Mm,
actually closing your thigh gap because you're building mass on your legs. So it then closes.
okay. I
Yeah.
just have a question before you go to the next thing. Because you mentioned the like how many hours you need to be working on average, how many days you need to be going. But um, I mentioned that for me during summer, it's very difficult because there are all these, you want to be outside, you want to go just be outside rather than spend it in the gym. So how do you like stay motivated?
Uh-huh. I just go like I find myself, let's say for example, if I don't find that I need to get motivated between summer and winter.
Mm,
So it's more so routine for me. Like, okay, it's in the calendar. I gotta go. It's part of my daily routine. So if I don't go, it's actually changing my day, right? So the consistency, even though it's summer, I would say, for example, if I want to do something, I'll walk to the gym, for example, because my gym is right there. So I'll walk to the gym because I'm being outside. And then I do my workout, I train, and then I just walk back. I come back home, eat, I sit on the balcony, enjoy, the fresh air. And then yeah, and then that's really it. And then so I guess for like the motivation, it's not really more so motivation at this point, especially like if I've gotten the habit in the calendar.
mm,
It's just that I gotta go. Like I'm not gonna start looking for new activities to do because it's summer.
mm,
But I also realize that, like, the same thing, like if I don't use it, I lose it. Same thing if you've made progress in winter and you've got your abs, if you don't maintain that, you're gonna lose it. So I don't want to lose it to the point where I have to go back to that beginner stage again.
yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know if I answer your question.
You definitely did, because that's motivation enough. Just
Uh-huh.
not wanting to lose what you've already gained. I think
Correct.
that's what I was looking for.
Correct. Yeah. Because you don't want to keep going back to that beginner stage. It sucks. It sucks to always go back to that beginner stage
Yeah.
where you're like, okay, I used to lift this. Now I can't lift this. And then you have like the muscle soreness, right? Because you're going back to that point where you're like, okay, this workout before, like if you did this workout, your body had already adapted. So you didn't feel that soreness. But then now you haven't trained your muscles in a long time. Now your recovery is going to take time, right? It's going to take a little bit longer than what you had been used to. So I just want to avoid that. So I want to keep progressing, but I want to keep my body recovering. So sometimes maybe I'll go, and then so maybe to also help you with that, like let's say for example, if I was going like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week, then I might say, okay, in summer maybe I'll pick 3 times a week that I go to the gym. And let's say for last summer, because I was doing a lot of biking as well, so I would probably sometimes not go to the gym because I had dedicated a day where I knew that I was just not going to go to the gym because I'm biking,
Mm.
right? So You can do that as well. You can also shift your goals to match whatever you're trying to get, right? But it's just realizing that your results and the goal that you want at the end of the day, it still needs you to follow the plan, regardless of it's summer or winter. You still
Yeah.
need to follow the plan. Yeah. So we can't change with the weather, right? Like it doesn't help us.
Yeah.
Doesn't help us. Okay. So this is pretty much what we're looking at, right? So we kind of looked through this duration, set counts, volume, how much what was going on here?
I was peaking right there. I don't know what.
Aha.
March. I need to
Yeah.
be I need to be right there.
Aha. Like I can see like your entire December, January, boom, boom, boom. Like you're crushing this program. Like you were
Yeah.
peaking with the previous program. Like you were pushing record. This was amazing. This is where we kind of want to go to and then
Yeah.
just enhance this. Yeah. Okay. And then, okay, so measurements, you don't have anything in here. Would you be able to log in your measurements?
Yeah, I could do that. I can do that. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't I know you told me to record before,
Uh-huh.
but
You
honestly I
hadn't.
didn't. No.
Okay. Okay, so we need you to record that just at least initially. You don't have to do it as frequent, but we can do it when we're also seeing some significant progress in the pictures. Then we can get a different measurement as well.
Okay.
Okay, so overview of your program, if I'm looking at it right now, Annie. So your program is heavily legs, abs, and legs, right? Your quads, abs, glutes. And so right now, like how are you feeling about this program?
I love this program.
Mm-hmm.
It's challenging because I need it's mainly legs, and
Mm-hmm.
usually if I lift heavy one day, I might need a day or two before the next workout,
Mm-hmm.
which that's not. I would prefer to rest, to not take any days off, or maybe take a day
Mm-hmm.
max in between, just so
Mm-hmm.
I don't lose motivation and feel like I'm starting over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been another challenge I've faced, because usually if I do compound lifts on Monday or Tuesday, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to go back on the next day, because I
Mm-hmm.
have to give myself time to rest, because I probably am going to be working those same muscles the next time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
and
That
yeah,
is that uh-huh. That
but I
is
love it. It's
you
just
love it.
yeah, the time I
So
have to rest in between is more than what I would prefer.
the rest is more than what you would prefer. Okay.
I don't know if that makes
So
sense.
like so I get what you mean. And so part of it too is you don't have upper body included in this, right?
Yes.
So what I'm asking or trying to help with problem solving then, does it make more sense for us to create an upper body day and
Absolutely.
insert upper body between the two leg days, let's say, for example? And then, yeah, and then do
Yes.
that. Like, does that make more sense for recovery? Because it sounds like maybe the time and the frequency why you're not going as often, it's to account for that recovery as well.
Yes, and that's what I've actually been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting, I would get one day from the other program that I had, maybe back day, and I put it in between, say, day one and day two here, just so I'm not working
Mm-hmm.
the same muscle, but I'm getting exercise done.